Since many Nigerians have asked why it started in Abuja, not Central, others are asking for their own share of the money through bank transfer. But the truth is that the federal government cannot pay every Nigeria 20,000 at this time. The federal government of Nigeria began the disbursement of 20,000 naira to the poorest people in Nigeria. The aim is to ensure that the sit-at-home order doesn't affect the poor so much. The disbursement, which started yesterday in Kwale, Abuja, saw some poor Nigerians get the amount as promised by President Buhari. I know you will ask of the donations made by some corporate organizations and individuals. The total amount is about 57 billion naira, which is not enough to purchase the highly needed medical materials to fight coronavirus. Each ventilator costs about $17,000. The federal government will need about 770 billion naira to pay 38.5 million Nigerians with BVN linked bank accounts, 20,000 naira each. I wonder where it will get this money at this time when the world economy is almost shut down. That is why the federal government has focused its attention on the poorest people in Nigeria, who are mainly in the northern Nigeria. The federal government should also try hard to provide support to other Nigerians because these are hard times. No amount is too small to receive as an alert from government. Everybody knows that the North has lots of poor people due to insurgency, poor education and amajiri. That is why they will benefit more in this situation. But this is not to say that Nigerians from the South don't deserve palliative measures. On Tuesday, April 7th, speaking with Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, in Femi Gbajabiamila, the leader of the House of Representatives, and Ahmed Lawal, Senate President, berated how the money is being shared. They allege that those who ought to be beneficiaries are not included because of the current arrangements of the ministries. The NAS leaders called for better arrangements and advises that there must be a review of the way the social intervention program is being handled under the current lockdown situation. I want to tell you that the most of those who are supposed to benefit have no access to it. They have no access to the internet. They don't have bank accounts, thereby no BVN. Most of them don't even have phone to know about any program. So how do we use the BVM to share the money for the poorest in the country? Now, coronavirus situation need our focus and attention more than ever before. This is the time we need to review the ways and manner the social intervention delivery program to Nigerians. We need to be better in terms of method of delivery, and without that, what we have been doing in the past cannot deliver exactly what will solve the problems of the most poorest and most vulnerable Nigerians. Ahmed Lawal, Senate President, said. The question is that as you have the poorest of the poor in the north, you still have them, the poorest of the poor, who do not have phone, who do not have a bank account, not to talk of BVN. So how do you justify that? How do you relate that? How do you expect people who are still in the same category that are in the north, who are in the southern part of the country, how do you expect them to understand this kind of a thing? Because majority of the people, some people there too, they have this, there's these similarities of what they are talking that is making them not to use BVN or not to use a bank account. Do you see how hypocritical these people are? That is the problem. But every little thing, you will start from the north and you expect people to be quiet. They will tell you one Nigeria. They will tell you some people are dividing Nigeria. With this kind of attitude, is it not dividing Nigeria already? They will tell you, oh, somebody is agitating for another country. Oh, this and this and that. They are trying to divide people. Now you want to tell me that those people who are of the same category or are in the same category of the poorest of the poor in the north that are in the southern part of the country, they are not entitled to all of these things? Because what you are telling us that everybody in the southern part of the country, they don't have poor, or maybe every one of them has a bank account or they have a telephone. I don't even understand the way the way this government, the way they do things. Everything, anything that will benefit the whole country, it will start from there. But when they are paying taxes, the same, you will now include everybody. You will include everybody. This is not the way to do things, because like I always say, there's no structure in place before now. That is why it is so difficult, because they've not been catering for the people. That is why it's so difficult for them to go about all of these things. Then you now come and tell Nigerians, oh, tell the whole world, oh, you have done XYZ, and some people be complaining. Then you tell them that why are they complaining? Now you are able to tell us that you are concentrating, and because you think that the poor people are mostly dominated in the northern parts of the country. Why is it that they don't go to school? Is there no school there? We have governors who have been there from time immemorial. They will tell you, oh, they know how to play politics. You can imagine their mindset, what they use in deceiving people. These are the people who know how to play the politics, and yet you can imagine all the vices are embedded in that region. They know how to play politics. They will tell you that all of them, they have radio. When it comes to politics, they know how to play politics. When people say that, it does not just go well with me. It turns me off. That they know how to play politics. With all the politics they think they know how to play, they have this, they are this, and that. And that is the more reason why they don't want division, because they know at the end of the day, they are not going to be benefiting anything. These are the reasons. Because with this kind of explanation, it's really unimaginable. Very, very pathetic, this kind of reasoning. So they are telling us, and a lot of statements have been credited to this Sadia Farouk, that she said it, and people are like, oh, where did she say so, where did she say so, how come? They show us video, show us this and this and that. Well, with this kind of explanation, has that not explained everything? Even with what is going on, they are not sharing the money to people in the southern part of the country. Is it not an evidence? Some people come and show us video. They tell you somebody, at least you have been informed about a particular something. Then you go and do your further research. Of course, I don't think that is even necessary. But what we are talking now is that with this kind of attitude, they are dividing the country the more. They are the ones dividing the country. When a president came up and said, oh, those who voted for him is going to concentrate on them, the people who are talking about those who are telling us that they want to go their separate way did not hear about what the president said at that time. And it's playing out. So you are telling us that the poorest people in the southern part of the country should be bound to the Philistines. They should go and settle themselves. Now you are borrowing this kind of policy, the kind of program that is being done in other countries, in well-developed countries. You are borrowing that kind of a policy or that kind of arrangement, and you want to come and practice the same thing in the country that you people have not been taking care of your people. You have not. You want to, and you think it's going to work. You see that people are obeying all this stay at home in all those countries. Have you asked yourself that why are they complying? But in Nigeria, they can't comply. It's not as if they don't want to comply, but because the necessary things have not been put in place. You are sharing money from that side, and yet you are expecting people to go and sit down, sit at home. Whether you are dying, sit at home. Whether you are hungry, sit at home. Whether you have food to eat, just sit at home. That is just what they are concerned about. It's because of their failure. That is why things are difficult for them now. Even before now, they've been complaining. They wouldn't want to do the right thing. But when it comes to their own budget, they will arrange it very well. They will make sure everything is okay. They will tell you, the same lawmakers will tell you, we want even if it is possible for them to tell you that they want a 2030 model of car or whatever that will benefit them. They will ask for it. But when it comes to the masses, money is not there. This and this and this and that. They will need social amount of money to fund or to pay into people's accounts if they want to go by the BVN. Because that is the only authentic way that you'll be able to give account of what you have done. If you are going to be giving people one by one, definitely they will not be able to account for it. And that is where corruption will set in. And they know what they are doing. It's unfortunate that these are kind of people who chanted change, that things will be better than the way we've been experiencing before, and they are doing worse things. It's just unfortunate. Someone says, now that the North has decided to encourage begging and laziness, the impact will go beyond this period of COVID-19 crisis. Most northern youth may interpret this gesture as a permanent means of livelihood and deliberately refuse education or skill acquisition, setting up food kitchen to provide meals twice daily for those that can't afford to feed. We fish out the poorest of the poor. No decent person would want to go and line up for the food. But the unfortunate thing there is that some people will be working while they will be giving some people, even with all the money they are spending there, you can see that insurgency is the order of the day. It has not even helped in any way. It has not helped in any way. They tell you, oh, we know how to play politics, but see what is happening there. They could even open their mouth and be saying Amajeris and poorest people, they don't go to school. If somebody is saying that, they will say, oh, why would you say that? But that is what is happening. Someone says, Bro Lai Mohammed, you are too much in this your lie. Go ahead, thunder fire you dead, Lai Mohammed. Government cannot afford to pay 20,000 naira to each citizen in this lockdown period, but can afford to purchase 400 Toyota 2020 model vehicles for the members of House of Representatives. Well done. God will judge all of you. Where do they want to get this money? What of all the recovered loot from looters? Share to the people, even if it is 2K. Nigerians will appreciate spending money that was stolen from them. So we make our resources in the south and share the money to northern people. Nigeria is not one country. Let us break. God will judge you all, including our useless leaders from the south that can't talk. Exactly, like I always say, they are working. They don't work in isolation. They all work together. They work together. Why can't they pay just 5K? I know it's small. Almighty God will use coronavirus to kill all of you. Now that person is really angry. Someone says, child, God, did you see what we are going through in this country? So Nigeria is not one. These northerners, they won't kill us. God will punish all of them. Anything in Nigeria must benefit the north more than other regions. They have governments in power. Employment is the north. Appointment is the north. Why is Nigeria like this? And you expect people to say, oh, good and fine. The question is that, does it mean we don't have the poorest of the poor in the southern parts of the country, that you want to start from there? It's unfortunate. So guys, let us hear your opinion. Those who are chanting for one Nigeria. Of course, the people who are already, they love what is happening. Whether it is favoring them or not, they don't care. But just that they will continue to say this one Nigeria. The truth we are always asking is that the present situation, is that the way it ought to go? Is that the way it ought to be? But they will not answer. They will not do anything. Leave your comment below and